This is another session with the Nasty Pastor. And right now, this session is about the teachings of PtahHotep. Before I get into my reading of the oldest book in the world, I said to myself, let's do some background on PtahHotep. Because it really amazes me that our ancestors, they formed a way of communication. They formed an alphabet system. They formed a language of words and started writing it down on stone, on paper, some type of material that you could write literature on. And it amazes me that, even back then in these days and times, that the things that we're used to having had to be invented. So it tells me how far we was thinking, how forward thinking we was, how we was thinking in the now, we was inventing in the now, because those things was needed. I could understand a sign that says this is the Hotep residence. I understand the need of that. I understand the need of knowing, okay, this is the temple where we come and pray, where we come and worship. I understand that this is the pier where that we get on these boats, we go out fishing, we get on these boats, we go out exploring, we get on these boats to trade natural resources to other countries. So let's start off with the dynasty. The fifth PtahHotep was around the fifth dynasty of Kemet, and that dynasty approximately lasted 150 years. You know what I mean? So we're talking the fifth dynasty pharaohs reigned for approximately 150 years, from the early 25th century BC, that's before Christ, until the mid 24th century before Christ. Now, the years, let's get into the last king of the fifth dynasty was a pharaoh named Yunus. Yunus flourished around the 24th century BC. The last king of the fifth dynasty of ancient Egypt and the first pharaoh to inscribe the interior of his pyramid at Saqqara with religious and magical texts known as pyramid texts. Now, what I gathered about PtahHotep is this right here. PtahHotep, he was an ancient Egyptian piece of Ptah, what it says. Ancient Egyptian PtahHotep, piece of Ptah. Sometimes known as PtahHotep the first or PtahHotep. Was an ancient Egyptian vizier. You got it? During the late 25th century BC and early 24th century BC, 5th dynasty of Egypt. So I'm going to look up an Egyptian vizier and see what that tells me, meaning of Egyptian vizier. Okay, the article taught the vizier was the highest official in ancient Egypt to serve the pharaoh king during the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms. A high executive officer of various Muslim countries and especially of the Ottoman Empire, a civil officer in ancient Egypt having vice regal powers. Okay. Now you see how the word Muslims comes in, right? Now, if we are up to date, if we are knowing of our ancestors, knowing of our background, we're not Muslims. We're Kemites, we're Cushites. You got what I'm saying? Through losing our dynasty, through losing our empire in Upper Africa, in Northern Africa, we went from Kemites to Egyptians. You got me? So PtahHotep was during the time we was Kemites. And as you see, he was a visor. He was a very appointed high official to the Pharaoh, which means his words, his thoughts, his actions was allowed, was dictated, was asked to help forge the Kemite dynasty further, to civilize us more, you know what I mean, to educate us, to as I said, have a language of understanding amongst the culture, so let's give thanks to PtahHotep. Let's give thanks to the Hotep family, because if I'm correct, that name is still alive. There are descendants of the Hotep family that carries that name to this day. That is their last name, Hotep. You know what I mean? So let's give it up to the Hotep family for building us a alphabet system, building us a word system to converse with one another on one accord. You know what I mean? This is our culture. We should be under one accord. We should have only one language. We should have one rule. We should have one voice. We should have one dominant way of looking at things. Although we're dealing with a culture of many ideas, many thoughts, many ways of looking at life, but we have to come together under one culture of understanding, of love, of what's not real, what is the truth, so that we can get along as a culture, build out infrastructure within our culture. We somewhere along the line, we lost a lot not listening. We lost a lot not being able to defend ourselves in a time that we was crippled. We, from the days of Kemet, going up against the Jews, going up against the tribe of Moses, crippled Kemet. It crippled our military, you know what I mean, which throughout the centuries, other countries, other tribes, come in, hurt us some more, come in, cripple this some more, come in, cripple this,